Hello everybody, my name is Daniel Arnett. I'm a junior at Jacksonville State University and this is for my speech class, EH141 at Jacksonville State. Today I'm joined by Miss Abigail Price, who is gracing me with her presence and also helping me record this for my class and my assignment. Today we're going to be giving an informative speech about the city of Weaver. The city of Weaver is my hometown and it's had a tremendous impact on me for my 21 years of life, especially the past 15 years, I would say. But there's many different things that make Weaver. I have two pictures here of the high school and also LL Park, which is inside the city of Weaver, right next to City Hall. Weaver High School is a hub, and so is Weaver Park. But we're going to talk about how Weaver has really evolved over time, even since the 1860s, whenever it was first founded, and all the way up until now. Weaver has been a hub for the Calhoun County area. The city limits of Weaver is located at the heart of the county. So it's a hub for different things around the county, whether it be athletics, academics, marching band, the fort being right next door. No matter what it may be, Weaver is known for many different things and is at the heart of Calhoun County. So let's start at the beginnings. What was Weaver like in the beginning? Weaver was first incorporated in the early 1860s by these people and this family, their last name's the Weavers, coming from the East Coast trying to move west on the search for manifest destiny as people continued all throughout the nation to move from east to west, filling in the country. Their original plan was to get into as far west as the Colorado or even California, but they saw this area in eastern Alabama that really caught their eye, and they decided to settle there. As the area began to flourish and more people started to come, and especially as the railroad started booming, Weaver really became and started to become a hub in the 1870s and the 1880s of Calhoun County, with the railroad being built, mainly the line of railroad that ran from Birmingham, Alabama to Atlanta, Georgia. This railroad, in the dead center, was the city of Weaver and Weaver Station. This railroad station served as the halfway point between Atlanta, Georgia and Birmingham, Alabama. They allowed this station to be a rest stop, a place for trade and commerce, or just a marker to know that you're halfway to your destination. And because the railroad ran through here, that means people flocked here too. If you know anything about your history, people followed the railroads. Where railroads were, job opportunities were, and there was also money. As we continue to look through Weaver's history and heritage, Weaver then began to evolve. Weaver had a low point after around the turn of the century into the 1900s, with the closing of the railroad. And because of the closing of the railroad, many people moved off. But Weaver finally made its comeback whenever the World War II first kicked off by the opening of Fort McClellan. Fort McClellan is an army fort that opened right next door to Weaver. And that army fort brought many people in. And it brought many outsiders in from the military, but also people that didn't even work for the military, because business was booming. Everything was booming in Weaver. I hear stories from my grandparents and their friends about how Weaver was the talk of the town in the mid-19th century, in the 60s and the 70s and the 80s. One place in particular that makes me think about that is the church, the Weaver First United Methodist Church, which was resurrected in the 1890s. So it saw Weaver go through that tough point and go through the good parts whenever Fort McClellan came into practice. In the year of 1945, the city of Weaver finally decided to incorporate itself and make itself an actual city. And whenever they were drawing the city limits, they drew it south of Jacksonville and north of Anniston. Like I said, you'll see a picture here in a second that shows that it is truly the center of Calhoun County. But because of Fort McClellan, it was the center of Calhoun County because it was right next to Weaver. And Weaver was flourishing because of this. But hard times also came after the close of the fort. At the turn of the century, the next century into the 21st century, Fort McClellan unfortunately closed down. And when it closed down, a lot of things in Weaver also started to go bad again. It was almost like whenever the train station, Weaver Station, closed down. But the high school that was built in the 1960s was starting to become decrepit. So they decided to undertake a project that would renovate and renew the high school. And because of this high school, many people have decided to flock to Weaver again because it's offering world-class academics, it has an elite wrestling program, and a worldwide prestigious marching band program. And that's what Weaver is known for today. As you see here today on the pictures, Weaver Wrestling has won 2 state championships in a row in 2021 and 2022. And because of this, it's bringing in people to Weaver. And Weaver's getting that heritage and that history and building up their reputation once again to what it used to be back in the height of the 1900s with Fort McClellan being in business. And also the marching band. Our marching band has been able to have opportunity to travel within the United States, whether it be Chicago, New York, Orlando, Los Angeles, no matter where. And they've had the opportunity to go and compete, and they always win at these events. And lately, as the state has incorporated marching band into more of a competition, they have won multiple state championships and multiple records. And they are the most prestigious, these are the 2 most prestigious programs at Weaver High School. Weaver High School was known for wrestling in the 90s, but it's making a comeback here in the 2020s. So, Weaver, Alabama. It is a very special place to my heart, and it's a very special place to Calhoun County. As you can see right here in the city limits, it is in the heart. It is the center of the county and is a hub for activity, life, and people to come flourish. Weaver has a rich heritage and a rich history that it has in the past, and it's building on, and it's evolved, and it's going forward towards the future. And I'm excited to see where the city of Weaver goes. Thank you very much for joining me.